Minnesota soybean growers are interested in protein and oil content because in the marketing of soybean, there tends to be a discount for the protein and oil content of Minnesota soybeans because in the past it's been a bit lower than some of the soybeans grown further to the south. So if we can improve both the protein and or oil content of Minnesota soybeans, that will allow the farmers to get a higher price for the soybeans that are grown in Minnesota. Seed composition traits are somewhat difficult to improve because there is a negative correlation between protein and oil. That is, if we increase the protein content, the oil tends to go down. Or if we increase the oil content, the protein tends to go down. So we try to find genes and varieties where we can at least not lower the protein or the oil content and increase the other characteristic, or potentially even increase slightly both of them. But this is somewhat contrary to the normal way that the plant puts energy into protein and oil. The Minsoy Noir 1 population is a rather unique population that was developed in cooperation with research scientists at Iowa State University. These are two varieties that are adapted to Minnesota that by themselves appear very similar, but when we look at the progeny or the offspring from a cross of that variety, we find a great deal of variation in many different traits, including protein and oil.
The idea was to start adding the molecular layers to that project and start to genotype with some of the modern genotyping technologies and start measuring gene expression with some of the modern gene expression technologies. And by marrying all those technologies together, you can get a pretty good idea of which genes may be involved in actually controlling differences between the Minsoy and Noir 1 parent. To date, there's been some exciting results that indicate that there are regions of a certain chromosome that are involved in governing the levels of soybean protein and oil that define the differences between the parent lines. And so the results essentially suggest that there may be some genes that within that interval that are controlling the differences between parents.
The next steps in our research would be to put the genes that we have identified in this segregating population into some of our high-yielding varieties to see whether the yield as well as the protein and oil content of the progeny, that is the offspring of a cross, would combine both the high yield that farmers need in terms of production but also improve protein and oil content so that when they market their soybeans, they can get the best price possible.